Yeah. I'm at Rhys Church Road. I went to Waynesboro to bring this man down to this address, and now he's trying to force his way into a house. I'm afraid to move my vehicle. They're fighting in there.
It's inside the house now?
Yeah.
You have your doors locked?
It's open. I'm in a van.
You need to make yourself safe, okay? Even if you've got to drive away from there to get away from him and close that and lock that door. Do that for me now, please.
Okay, wait a minute.
Okay, and boom, welcome to the live. So
Hello,
it's not too often. Yeah, it's not too often we've done a daytime one.
I know.
But, probably into the future here, we'll start doing some more daytime ones, especially since a good deal of our audience is from the United Kingdom. And there's cases that are going on against there. Today's, of course, live is about Nicola Bulley. And Miss Dog Lover, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me again.
Oh, yes. Miss Dog Lover, if anyone knows, is always in our chats. I think she lives, eats, and breathes this channel. Right, Miss Dog Lover?
I do, yeah. That's the reason why I've got permanent jet lag, because I'm always up at 3 o'clock in the morning watching you guys.
Well, we apologize.
And we do appreciate it. And Miss Dog Lover, the other day was nice enough to send us a nice donation in PayPal. So just want to expressly say thank you, since we're on the live, for that. Because sometimes people do coffees and PayPals and, super chats, but super chats everyone can see, but not everyone sometimes sees, when somebody does something nice. So she said we can buy our cocktails, Deb. So Deb says, Sonny, you look so good in black. This is okay. So this is my UK t-shirt. In fact, actually, it's my husband. He's from the UK. He's British. He's from Nuneaton, if anyone knows. So I went to his side of the closet and was like, I'm gonna wear my for support for the UK and the subscribers, and of course Nicola Bulley in honor of her case over there as well. Anyways, so thank you guys, like I said, for joining the live. It's not a typical time that we do things on. Before we get started with Nicola Bulley, we're just going to touch on just quickly a couple of cases just to bring you aware. One is out of Scotland. His name is Rhys Rogers. And that one is, that one's tearing at my heart. And, and this is where it becomes really important to share the information that's out there. Now, Miss Dog Lover, do you know of the Rhys Rogers one?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah. It's in some ways I keep in my head thinking that it's very parallel to Nicola's in the sense of, here is a father here. Let me just quickly pull up the, just so you guys can see exactly, let's see who I'm speaking of here. Rhys, no, don't want that one. Nope, don't want that one. Got where did it go? I had you up a second ago. Right here. Okay. So right here Hi, Claire. How are you doing? Oh, let's say hi to Juju. Happy Friday, you guys. It is Friday, isn't it? Um, Moo will be doing our other live tonight. Don't forget with Delphi. Okay, Lewis will be joining us as well. And I do want to say, of course, John from Crime Scene to Courtroom, and most of you guys that are from the UK know exactly who that is. Again, prayers for his pup dogs who's having some issues right now. And, again, John has become a really good friend to us, as well as, Alexa, who's out and about on some school course that she's doing while she's working. I can't remember what it is she's exactly doing. She's doing, she's working for some, or doing a schooling with someone, and it's to do with her forensics and stuff like that. And anyway, so Alexa, of course, another beloved friend of ours on the channel. And but anyway, so this right here is Rhys Rogers, and it's so eerie to me too, you guys, because he looks so much like my brother-in-law from England, Ricky. If I showed you a side by side, it would, when somebody has a doppelganger or whatever, a Doppler or whatever they call it, doppelganger, and it's like another person, and you're like deja vu because it looks exactly like, my brother-in-law. But anyways, so what happened was, so he went camping with a friend, with some friends, okay, and he was calling his partner, which is Paula Azeri, or Erzi. So he had been talking to her all day. At 4 o'clock, he had called her, to, basically say that he wanted to come home, because sometimes guys, get like that. It's like, I want to be back at home instead, because he was more of a home bird. And it was raining, because we're thinking Scotland here, guys. It's raining and whatever. And then she's like, okay, here we go again, type of thing. Like, okay, call your father, come pick you up, type of thing. And he's like, and then he said, no, he'll be fine. And he had been calling her throughout the day. Now at 11:18 is the last phone conversation. He calls Paula and asks her how she, like basically how is she? Oh, Miss Dog Lover just dropped. She'll be back in a minute. How is she? And then, she was at work, and so it was kind of noisy. So that phone call was like 1 minute and 4 seconds, and then his phone turned off. Now this is in the Rannoch, or however exactly you say that, area, and it's basically like he had called her, and then his phone goes off, and never to be heard from again. Now, he was supposedly spotted 2 times, one at 11 o'clock at night, and one at 8 in the morning. And I believe the one at 11 o'clock at night, there was, the person that was matching his description. And it was about a mile east. Yeah, I think it was about a mile east. And the person went to go stop, and all of a sudden he just disappeared, is what the newspapers are reporting. So they haven't found him, whether he's alive, whether he's not alive. So it reminds me of the Nicola Bulley case, in the sense of, with Nicola Bulley, same thing. It's like, well, what happened to her? Like, there was all these obviously her body was found, so that made obviously a difference, 3 weeks later or whatever, a month later, pretty much. And it's just a fact of not knowing. So here you have this, like it says right there, partner of missing, Scott Rhys Rogers, which being Scottish, begs for the news after 5 weeks of pure torture. So imagine putting yourself in this person's shoes, and knowing that this person that you love very much, that obviously, doesn't seem like there's any issues going on or something like that. So, and then they just disappear. And yet, again, sounds like he was spotted, but they just disappear. And you don't know if they took their own life, if they just left their life, or whatever. So it's a very sad case. And it's tugging at my heart because it's reminded me of the Nicola Bulley case with all the different, things like what happened to Nicola. Like, was there a third party involvement that happened to Rhys? Did he take his own life? Did he just walk away from life in this case? Where did he go? Where is he? Is he alive? Is he not alive? Imagine being that person. Like, imagine being, like I said, his partner, and he has 2 children. So that's a very sad story. Dabster had brought it to my attention, and it's sitting in my heart. There's a lot of cases that sit in my heart, of course, because anybody that's to do with missing and the murdered, it's just very sad and tragic. So again, I'll be putting another video out with regards to this. I did reach out to Paula. Now, I never did hear back. Sometimes people don't maybe see their messengers. I used to be really bad for when somebody would send a message and it was like, well, where is it? Like, where did it go? Sometimes you'd see it pop in and I would always be, some of us aren't so social media inclined as well as others. And then the other one that I quickly wanted to share with you, and this is very sad, and this one broke my heart. Now, there's nothing we can do here. This mother's name is Nicola Hanley. And on December 30th of 2022, she was at a bar with some friends, and her partner, Chris, we'll call him. I think it's Christopher Robinson, which it says in the article. He had come by, and he had tried to put his arm around her, and basically she pushed it away, and he tried to dance with her. And she just basically ignored him. And remember, this is her partner, and she has 2 children, okay? A boy and a girl. I think one's a bit older and the boy was younger. Now, this is what we're talking. This is kind of what, you never know what's going through somebody's brain. So Nicola has 2 children. That night, again, she leaves the bar, and her other half, her partner, Christopher, wants her at least to take a taxi, or at least that he's going to walk with her. So she does decide to take a taxi without him. And basically she sent her mom a text message. And then she had sent her partner a message, which prompted, of course, them to go look into the home. And Nicola Hanley took her own life.
So sad.
Very sad. She felt like she was in this, from what the article is basically saying, is that she felt like she was in this unhealthy relationship with this Christopher Robinson guy. And this, right? So, but there would have to be more to it than just that, There had to be other things in her mind going on besides just that, basically mental health issues. And right. So it didn't matter that she had 2 children. Something in her life brought her to the lowest form of lows, where she thought that the easiest way out was to just take her own life. I think it's more than just of course, it was probably a compounded, how, right? Like, obviously the relationship, she felt she was stuck in, perhaps. It was obviously very detrimental to her health. And so, yeah, you just never know what people are going to do. But it struck me because she's out of Lancashire. And I don't know how to pronounce this, Miss Dog Lover. Is it Langho? Langho? No, sorry. Langho, I believe it was the spelling, Langho. I mean,
I've got no idea about Langho.
We'll just say,
Langho, but it's Lancashire. I always say.
Oh, there we go, Lancashire.
Not Shire.
Shire. Well, Yorkshire, or do you say York?
Yorkshire pudding.
You say Yorkshire?
Yorkshire pudding. Yeah.
Yorkshire. But it's funny because you say that, but then my husband says it more like, he doesn't talk like that. He doesn't say Yorkshire like you just did.
Different dialects.
What does he say?
He'll say Yorkshire.
I think he's taking the mick
on there.
Kind of like
but
you
then
know,
again,
how Deb talks, how she's like, "Hey y'all, my name's Deb," but then
yeah,
I talk like a normal person.
well,
I'm just
if
playing.
there's one, yeah, I was just gonna say, if there's one thing that I do know is in England, they're in a smaller space, there is so many different dialects on how people say,
Yeah,
because
so many different accents. Yeah.
well, because my husband's mother's other half partner, he's a Brummie, and oh my God, does he talk like he mumbles, like he mumbles.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I can't understand you. So I'd always look over to mom, Steve's my husband's mom, and go, Mom, what's he saying? And and then they would always take a piss at me, but it was like I couldn't understand a lick of what he was saying half time because it was spoken so fast and it was like mumbling,
Yeah, I mean,
And
some accents are so strong in the UK that we can't understand each other sometimes.
Sheer. So Lancashire. Lancashire. It is really tough though when you're not from that side of the world, and and then you're trying. It's kind of it would be the same thing really if we spoke how we speak here in Canada, and there's just certain pronunciations, like aluminum. But
well, it's aluminum. You guys say aluminum. We say aluminium.
I know.
Right.
My husband, I cannot say that word if my life depended on it. It just becomes a tongue twister in my head. Anyways, okay. So you know what, Miss Dog Lover, with the Nicola Bulley case again, what drives me to it's the case that's weighing very heavily on a lot of people's hearts, including ours still, of course, because it's like a puzzle. It's like a puzzle that you can't figure out, and what should have been simple in a sense of a person gone missing, oh, there she is in the water, case solved type of thing, and it's been just like a puzzle. And then even in a video, a moment that I'll show with Ron Rogers guy, or Ron Roger, whatever his name is, it's puzzling, and you're trying to figure out the pieces before the actual answer comes, in a sense, because who knows, I guess if we'll hear, but it's the fact of it's trying to comprehend something that should have been simple, that obviously turned out to be that they couldn't find her, and they still never did, so they can't take any applause for that. And
I don't know if you felt this way, Sunny and Miss Dog Lover, but even in the police's or the law enforcement's confirmation as to, or explanation as to why they returned to the river 2 weeks just recently, even that was confusing and convoluted in their explanation. I understand it was for the coroner, but I'm like, they put out all this information and they're like, oh, but requires further investigation. I'm like,
yeah. So, Miss Puglover, what do you think about the whole police going back to the, river wire and then basically floating over top of it to see if their body basically, would go over?
Well, obviously, it's very strange, and we won't have any answers until the inquest in June. But did you see John's video from earlier today?
No.
Have you seen that?
I didn't.
No, that was really interesting. It addressed the question that a lot of people have got, which is like, when did she enter the water, and the use of the cadaver dog 4 to 5 days after she went missing. And research has shown that cadaver dogs are really effective at detecting bodies, even up to 15 meters down in water.
Yes.
And it came up with nothing. And also we've got the fact that Peter Fording didn't find her, and he, and the fact that they were scanning that part of the water the day she went missing. So personally, I don't think that she went in by the bench at all. And I find it hard to believe that she would have gone in before the weir, because I think she would have been caught up. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I think she would have been caught in the weir and seen sooner. So it's very bizarre, and I'm keeping an open mind about it.
Yeah, same. I always like to, have our thoughts, but look at each of the different avenues, really. So I think I started watching that video last night, and I don't know, I ended up getting up or something like that and coming back to my computer instead. So I did watch only a couple minutes of it, now that you say that. Now, there's a case, Suzanne Morphew's case, and if anyone knows that, like I said, those cadaver dogs. So I'm familiar with the sense of that cadaver dogs, they can smell underground. Like I can't remember what the depth is, but like it was like 30 feet or something like that. Like their noses are super sensitive. Isn't it crazy that literally, like, dogs to me are just such a brilliant species, to be honest with you, and what some of these dogs are trained to do and what they can do. So with this Suzanne Morphew case, I remember the cadaver dogs being brought in because, I'll tell you something strange with this Suzanne Morphew case. His wife went missing, right? No, he was whatever. I'm not going to get into that part of it. May 10th will be the 3 years that she disappeared, 2020, and that her body still has not been found. But at this one place Barry Morphew was working on, he literally went back to work on like that Tuesday. And it's like, really, dude? You're on from the Sunday that your wife goes missing, you're laying cement on this house. So that house became into question, and they brought in cadaver dogs, and that's when I kind of learned more about the cadaver dogs myself. And so, yeah, like I said, 4 or 5 days later, like I said, the cadaver dogs aren't picking anything up. Nobody's picking anything up. And so that's really where I'm kind of at too. Like some people, like I'm just still, hey Chaotic, how are you? I'm just still really confused on the part of they didn't find nothing. Zip, zilch, nothing. Nada, crapola, nothing. I mean, they were preaching it like that was what happened, an accident, and she fell in, and it could very well have been, but it seems really strange that there was nothing, like nothing. There's no slide mark. There's no freaking, like there should have been something you would think, like what, like this is like a ghost, just like I said, nothing. And then she's found like over a mile down, well, that's where her body ended up being. But obviously, the psychic says that it was like floating before that, about a quarter of a mile and stuff. Irregardless, it was after the weir. And so, yeah, and hence why, to me, they were in the river, like checking out to me how this body could have, did it go over the river wire? Because I don't know. I bet you any money that they don't know. Like, they're not going to know the story. They're going to know a certain part of the story, and that's going to be if there's water in the lungs before or after she went in, etc., etc., etc. But as for the actual story of where she went in, hence to me why they were doing that, like the practice run, like, okay, so how did her body did it go over the river wire? Because that's what I would like to know, because it just doesn't seem like it fits with everything that she went in at that point,
Right. Again, I always talk about the her jacket. I mean, there was not a very long span of time between her going into the water and her phone being found. Yet no one saw that knee-length puffer jacket in the water, because they're water resistant. It would not have sunk if she went into the water at that place at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless I'm just completely wrong, but I mean, to me, that just doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, I don't want to slate the police, but I do think that their conduct in this case is questionable. First of all, they should have sealed off that area as though it was a crime scene, because at that point they didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you know, them blaming social media for all the speculation. I think if they knew for definite that she went into the river, they should have released some information to say why they were so convinced about that. So, you know, and I'm all for the police in the UK, despite everything that's happened in recent years.
Yeah,
I've got police in the family, so I'm not slating them, but I just think that they could have done things differently.
And you know what? Absolutely. I guess it's for us. It's like, you know, like that's their profession. That's their job. They're they're the skilled ones in this. They're the ones, like I said. So when it came to certain things to do with the case, that you just think even an idiot 101 knows, to me, that when there's a phone found and a dog and there's nobody around, that they would have started from the top and you seal it off and then you work your way down, because obviously that is not normal that you find a dog and a person. Like, you would have thought within that day that they would have sealed it off, but all they kept saying was that an accident happened here. Oops, we can't find her. Day after day after day after day, we can't find her. And then it's like, okay, well, you know, while the searchers are in the water 7 days later, let's put up some, taping crimes, whatever. So, and you're just like, really? It just seems absurd to me, because that just seems like 101, like, just to any normal person that, it's just absurd to me. And that's where like I said, we're not here to trash, all LE and all law enforcement, and LE being law enforcement and, police and that, however you guys say it. United States uses the word law enforcement. We just say police over here in Canada. And what do you guys say? Police as well? Typically?
Constables.
Miss Dog Lover, what do you guys say?
Police.
Yeah, you guys use the word police
Yeah.
as well. Okay. And so, but the thing is that, like I said, I mean, this becomes about each individual case and how it's being ran. And in Nicola Bulley's case, this was very bad judgment. And it goes from that to the releasing of the alcohol, just to the it's almost like the self-right as they were speaking, to be honest. We say the word arrogance because it comes off very arrogant is what they're talking, and you can't, whenever I think of that press conference, all I keep hearing in my head is, we don't have anything. We don't got any proof, but we just want you to believe that this is that she fell in here, that an accident happened here. That's why we're so focused on it. Well, yeah, you were so focused on it, you didn't even find her, did you? So something to me is amiss that, when you have all these people, Peter Falding and all that, and they're all saying like, no, like if it happened here, she should have just been there, like, right, basically here. She wouldn't have traveled over the weir. She would have been within the vicinity, and yet nothing, no floaty puffy jacket up. And I know it takes 2 or 3 days, but still, like, I mean, I remember watching Peter Falding's, and I know this because I have watched Adventures with Purpose and Chaos Divers and stuff like that. And you can see the sonar and how it looks at the bottom of the thing and whatever. And all I'm thinking of is like, nobody, you guys didn't find nothing. You guys haven't proved anything. The only thing you guys were able to do was recover a body that was pointed out to you by a person of the public. That's not, I mean, I know there's more to it than that, but that's the end result, is that they didn't pull her from the, they pulled her from the river, but that's it.
Yeah, I remember someone saying that it would be a member of the public that found her eventually, dog walker or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's just it's not like it's a huge river. it's just like it's what we would call more of a slough, you know, in a sense. It's not like it's this wide open river. It's just, you know, more of a contained, you know, not that big slough. So that's what
Right.
in my head,
I would call it a creek.
Yeah, creek even, you know. Well, yeah, slough creek type of thing. Like it, nothing major. I mean, this thing is just water kind of running down the, you know, not very a wide span, and that's what blows me away. I think I hear my husband home. I think so on there. But yeah, so Penny is the first person who saw the phone. If it was on the floor, it makes a massive difference. It does to me too. That's what made a massive difference before Nicola Bulley was found. Nick, was that made a huge difference to me too, you know, because that's when it was more of, oh, okay, well, if it's on the floor, you know, and then maybe it flung out of her, you know, her hand, then that's when I was thinking more about the third party involvement. Yes, they were arrogant, and I totally agree. Very defensive, and honestly, I think it was because they already knew that they had made mistakes and wanted. They definitely shifted the blame. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And from a very early standpoint, I mean, they were defensive and arrogant from the get-go, in my opinion. And up until even the latest statement, which they made about when they returned to search again, you know, they even had, you know, they couldn't help themselves but to throw out once again, you know, all of the misinformation and public, you know, harm that, you know, being created in this case by the public, not police. You know, which I was like, it's like they couldn't help but take one more smack at the public.
Okay, husband, are you in the room?
Yeah, so
Oh, just can you come closer? Just come closer. I want to ask you to say 2 words for me.
what?
How do you say?
Going fishing.
No, not that. How do you say Lancashire?
Lancashire.
So you say Lancashire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just replaced the I and turned it
Told
to a U.
you.
But no, he's not saying Shire. You said Sheer. You said
I
Lancashire.
said Lancashire, Yorkshire.
Yeah, he doesn't say it that way.
It depends where you're from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I say
but
Lancashire.
it's definitely not Shire.
No, that's the Canadian version, okay, people?
Yeah, it's definitely not pronounced how it's spelled.
What about York? What about Yorkshire? Yorkshire.
No,
Yorkshire.
it's not, definitely
Yorkshire.
not Shire.
No,
Yorkshire. So Yorkshire.
Yorkshire.
So Yorkshire is the same as the thing I say then. I'm at least right on one thing. That's
If
correct.
it's in Shire, just pronounce it sure.
Sure.
Lancashire.
Sure.
Oh no, don't confuse us, Steve.
I was gonna say, don't confuse me
That's
on
not
this.
hard.
Yeah. Okay. You what? Okay. Let me play a video for a second. It's on 1.5 speed, but I'm gonna show this, and then we'll go back to talking about this right here. Okay. So I'll put this full screen.
Exactly when
Play
they
with. Yeah.
Yeah, at 8:53, police say right now, 3 weeks ago, Nicola hit send, and an email was sent to her boss.
Yeah. So if you're just tuning our way, we are retracing the steps of Nicola Bulley 3 weeks ago today. It's 9 o'clock, and she would have been on a Teams call about 9.
Yeah, it was about a minute's time or so. She logged into that Teams call. I imagine the meeting started at 9 o'clock. Nicola logged in about 1 minute past 9.
Yeah.
She would have held the
Still
phone
on
out.
this path?
Yeah. She was just walking along this upper field here.
Yeah.
She would have held the phone out in front of her, sorry, police said, and that's where...
That's what you do, isn't it? When
You've got it on speaker, you hold it out in front of you, and she wasn't talking, she wasn't on video, it was
Her
just
pace would have
simply...
been slower here because she was listening to what was being said.
Yeah, and again, you know, as I mentioned, her dad said in relation to work, she was in good spirits. She just, as a mortgage advisor, had just got a deal through, so she was happy about that. And, you know, she sent an email to her boss.
And she starts to join a Teams conversation. The camera's not on, the audio is not on, but she is holding it out in front of us. And we know that because somebody saw her right now.
Yeah, it was at 9:10 here on the upper field that somebody then saw Nicola, a witness that has been spoken to by police. So 3 weeks ago, let's put this in perspective, 3 weeks ago, 9:10 in the morning, somebody saw Nicola walking with her dog Willow here.
You know, just to illustrate, you know, that this is where the dog walkers come all the time. Her partner came along, Paul, and he's retraced these steps many times, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And he came down pretty much straight away. You know, he wanted to see what was the scene like, what happened here straight away. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Come on
Hi,
through.
do come
How are
through.
you?
No, not at all.
Good to see you.
You're living it.
Well, it has been like that. So you actually you saw the phone, is that right?
Yeah.
You saw the phone that Friday morning?
Yes.
Yeah, and that was around, was it after 9:30?
I gave a full statement to the police with the exact time because my wife's telephone call had the time on it, so I've given a full statement.
Yeah.
Was it just on the bench, or was it just on the bench?
The phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the last 3 weeks been?
Each day something new comes out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And in terms of, when you saw Phone, Lead, and Willow, you knew who Nicola was.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you knew Willow. That was it, wasn't it? You knew Willow.
I knew I'd seen both the owners of Willow walking this dog in the past. But whilst I knew them by face, like I know your face, I didn't know the name.
Yeah. But I remember you actually telling me when you saw the phone, the Lead and Willow, you were like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on it because something doesn't feel right.
I thought somebody gone to the toilet in me. I got about this red brick building here, and I thought this is not right.
This is the part of the river where the police think that she has gone into the water. There's no sign here at all of any scuffs or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is where her phone is found.
Yeah. Well, look, it's 9:20 right now.
Yeah.
9:20 3 weeks ago, Nicola's phone had moved to this bench, but we're at a very important juncture right now. Okay, it's 9:30.
Just quickly, I wanted to point out this because, again, if you look at the siding there, I mean, that is quite the little drop, as you can see going around it. It's not massively, but, and they said that it was about 2 feet, basically where if she would have fallen in there and that there was rocks there. But I just kind of wanted to get, for anyone that doesn't really realize, it is a bit steep there, but still. I mean, and it's, again, it's not this big wide river. But anyways, I just wanted to point that out quickly and then we'll come back to it.
It had been a 30-minute team call. That ended. She'd logged on about 9:01. It had obviously started at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
But she stayed logged on.
So police say that the team's call ended 9:30, but Nicola's phone remained logged on to that team's call. In other words, she hadn't ended the call.
So that happened 3 weeks ago right now.
Yeah. Approximately, police say it was 9:33 3 weeks ago that the lady who owns a caravan park just around the corner here actually spotted Nicola's phone, spotted Willow, and spotted the Hana. She was another dog walker, so she noticed who Willow was, noticed who Willow belonged to, and then that's when things really kicked into action. And other locals got involved.
Yeah, so that's like the 45 minutes from when she dropped the children off at school. We've walked her walk today, starting in the car park, walking along Blackpool Lane, going past the 16th century parish church, very beautiful building, walking down to where we are, and then going around the loop, the lower field, and then up to the upper field, sending an email to her boss, saying hello to people that she knew along the way, dialing into a Teams call just after it started at 9 o'clock, making her way to where we are now. We know that her phone made its way to here. It was left on the bench. The dog was here. The harness was here. There was literally no further sign of Nicola, and that has been the case for the last 3 weeks. It has been perplexing for Lancashire Police. It has been devastating for her family. We'll have continuing coverage here on Sky.
Us here. Okay. So I just wanted to play that again, just to, for anyone just that, again, sometimes as time goes by, we forget things that are said and different things like that. Miss Dog Lover, is there anything in there at all that stuck out to you from that interview with Rhys Rogers, whoever?
Well, first of all, I'm not a great fan of Kay Burley, who was the interviewer there, but that's beside the point. I think that was staged with him walking through there. I don't think he just happened to be passing. I think they had him lined up to come in and interview him.
I do too.
Second of all, in terms of the Microsoft Teams call, I don't know if people aren't aware of what it is. It's basically just like an interactive kind of thing that you use at work. It's similar to Zoom, but you can send messages and you can work with each other collaboratively in real time. The fact that she had her camera and her audio off, I don't think is anything to be concerned about, because when you're part of a really big team, unless you're required to participate in that call, you typically wouldn't have your audio and camera on. And I do it. We have a team call every morning at 9:30. We're a team of 30 people, and I have my camera and my audio off unless people ask me a question or I'm required to present. So I don't think that's not necessarily anything out of the ordinary there for me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. I thought you still were going to go. Sorry. I thought you were still continuing. Yeah.
That's all I've got.
But yeah. And you know, I mean, that it doesn't seem odd to me either, like that part of it. You know, she met with her boss the night before in Garstang. And like I said, according to her dad, she had this, you know, she just made this new mortgage deal or whatever, you know, and that she was in good spirits, according to the father. It, you know, again, it's trying to put puzzle pieces together. One, okay, who's the guy with the white dog? For all the people, so these people make daily trips, typically, right? Um, like Paul said, like everyone that is there knows everyone. And if you aren't there, then you stand out. Actually, Adam, let's go back to you. What do you think about that whole interview? Anything? What stands out to you in all of that?
Well, I mean, I've had to watch it several times because one, it's the interview is so poorly staged.
Staged, yeah.
That, you know, they're like, oh, by the way, here's this person that just happens to be standing off camera, probably for 20 minutes, waiting for the interview to start.
Waiting for the cue. I know.
You know, I mean, other than that, you know, the first several times I watched it, I didn't really think too much of it, but it does you know, it doesn't fit some of the other narrative that we've heard, but you know, that could be as simple as witness statements are always varying. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you look at other cases, it's not uncommon at all for there to be slight variations in timing of small details, because a lot of times it's just how the memory and the mind works. You know, as far as did, you know, Penny pick up the phone first? Did so-and-so pick, you know, who was there at what time? I can see those being honest mistakes, but, you know, I know that some people have other opinions than that.
Yeah. So Tom Ataka thinks that this is definitely a third-party involvement. Wendy says Ron basically didn't say anything worth noting except he called his wife. Well, there was a few things in there that actually I've listened to that like many multiple times, as well as looking at. Okay, what seems strange is that everybody seems to know. I mean, I can understand this because it's a small place, but it's kind of like you have Penny, the caravan person. You got you know, Anne Marie. You have this Ron Rogers guy or whatever, but it's kind of like Christine Bowman was the lady with the white dog, which is related over to Penny, and you know, and Anne, of course, Anne Marie Fletcher, and then Ron saying that Penny's, you know, I'm trying to call my wife, and Mike's trying to call me. Penny's talking to my wife, you know, and
Right.
so they're obviously related or friends or relation or something as well. And that's kind of all I keep seeing is like, so okay, so who's the guy with the white dog then? Is it a white dog? I mean, there's so many different things now. It's like, is there truly this guy with a white dog? You know, was it a white dog? It makes me wonder.
And regardless of who was there at that time, it was not enough time in between when she logged onto that phone call and when when they discovered her phone and everything, that she would have like sunk in that water, that her coat would have been submerged completely in the water. She should have been seen. She should have been seen immediately. And again, why wasn't Willow? Why wasn't, by all accounts, Willow would have been standing at the bank of that water barking, and if she had been moving in the water, following her downstream on the riverbank.
Well, and that's just the thing is like, to me, it's like, okay, a typical dog when something's going wrong, like they're barking, right? They're trying to grab your attention. And it's kind of, and then in my head, I think to myself, okay, so at 9:30, Penny was supposedly, saw the phone on the bench and whatever. And Ron apparently must have came across it afterwards. Who knows? Again, but it's kind of like you would think they're like, yeah, Willow would be alerting, like, or somebody would have heard this barking, whether you were traveling. You know what I mean? It's like sound carries.
Yeah. I completely agree. And with it being a spaniel, they are incredibly neurotic. I know I've got 2 spaniels, and if I'd fallen in the water, like they would be screaming, like you would hear from a mile away.
Right. Well, definitely. Like, okay, when you fall, do you not kind of have a screech to go with it? Typically, most people, when something happens, it's like, ah, like, so if she would have tripped over the dog's leash, for instance, you would have heard a sound come out of somebody's mouth or something. And then I'm still kind of thrown off, you guys, is the fact of the timeline of the phone ringing of when Paul was calling. So if Penny, according to the press conference, right, Penny went back home, right, because it's like she was having a brain fart. It's like she kind of had seen that dog before but couldn't place who it was owned. And then she obviously didn't tie, like I said, Willow up. I was going to say, hold on. So she obviously didn't tie Willow up if she's calling Ron to tell his wife's talking, Penny is talking to Ron's wife and saying to tie up the dog. Obviously that means that she wouldn't have tied up the dog, because why would she call back and say, tie up the dog? Like, that wouldn't make sense. And it's just this whole thing of like, if Paul's trying to call her, and, this is around like the 10:20-ish area, 10:20-ish, 10:30 area. Well, you can't tell me from 9:30 to that time, over 50 minutes later, basically, that nobody is back at that bench. Nobody's come across that bench with a phone sitting on it. That would be absurd. This is a dog park that people frequent, taking their dogs. And like they said, that there was multiple people on that path and that day. So it just seems absurd that, well, if he's phoning, you're telling me for 15 minutes that nobody else came across that phone, or the dog just running loose. And that part doesn't make sense. Do you agree?
I agree.
Ellen Robinson just wanted to remind, originally when Lewis was asked what may have happened, I remember him replying in regards to waterways, tunnels in the area. Great perspective into the inquiry. Thanks, Lewis. Just want to remind her. Oh, Louise, you mean?
Oh, no, I think Lewis actually did.
No, not me.
Okay, sorry. Just want to remind her, originally when Lewis was asked what...
I think Lewis talked about it.
Okay, yes. Yeah,
what tunnels though?
I don't know.
I don't remember exactly what we were talking about. I believe it had to do with that pump station. Because isn't the small red brick building a pump station?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was it. Mm-hmm.
And so he was talking about, because of that, it made him think there could be waterway tunnels in the area where they go to like treat service. I don't know waterways or plumbing. So
yeah.
But I do remember him saying that. But good memory there, Ellen. I think that was Ellen that said that.
Yeah, Ellen. I was gonna say good memory there too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you noticed, Sunny, but I think Claire in the chat, and also
yeah, whatever. What if you're seeing something?
And Tommy are both locals to Langshire.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you very much for the that perspective from a local is invaluable. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's always great when people that are locals from there, can reach out to. So Tommy, and you said Claire. Go figure out who that white dog guy is. Park himself at 9:15 at the thing and see who comes in with the white fluffy dog. Yeah.
Right.
Small white.
You need to get
dog.
a local to dial in, Sunny.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm just down here in London.
Yeah,
And if you
I know.
if you see anyone, pushing a carriage or wearing a yellow coat or a red coat,
That's Christine Bowen. Yeah,
I
or
know.
there's the crown lady. Yeah. And what is that? Hold on. I'm still thinking two issues. Was she ever there? How can you have witness CCTV but no Nicola? How can you have witness CCTV but no Nicola? Right. That's what always amazes me because every time you listen to like the UK and stuff like that, it's always like CCT footage caught, CCT,
Oh.
and here you got like nothing.
Living in the United States, I've always just kind of been under the assumption that all of England was covered in CCTV.
All of England,
the entire country, just and then did we ever hear it confirmed? Was it Pitty's son-in-law that installed the cameras that the one was working, and was it not working, or was it working?
No,
the ones by the caravan park, because I've never heard confirmation on that.
I've seen it both ways. I've seen it say that it was working and wasn't working. I believe it. There was one working and one wasn't. I don't know. It's simple things like that you read and you hear. Yes, it was working. No, it wasn't working. The one at the.
It's so frustrating. We've got cameras absolutely everywhere tracking you in the UK, and whenever you need them, they're not working.
Mm-hmm.
Did you read that, Sunny?
Sorry, go ahead.
Did you read the comment I put on the screen by Claire?
This one?
Yes.
Oh, I know who the witness is. Well, Claire. Claire. Okay, hold on, Claire. Where is it? Brand. There we go. 1 second. Let me come back. Okay. 1 second here. Hold on. I gotta take this off. Claire, you see that email right there? acrimingshame@gmail.com. Okay. Now just know, if you do, it will be confidential. We are people of our words. So, can you please, if you know who the witness is and the dog, could you please email me the name? Because honestly, that and the other thing that's ticking me off is who this Ron Rogers guy exactly is, because he really did look a lot like Michael Bowman, which is, I think, the brother of Christine Bowman. I don't believe it's a husband. Anyways, Claire, if you could do that, that would be great. And just know that, of course, it would only be with mine and Adam's knowledge of it. We're not going to put it out there, to stick at the person's name if the person's name hasn't been mentioned. But if you do, Claire, it's just one of those things, It's just like you sit there in your head spinning, going, okay, who is this guy? Who's this person? Who is this person? So, Claire, so it is accurate, obviously, then that it is obviously here. Let me take this thing down. Anyway, hold on.
I can vouch for Sunny being confidential.
Absolutely.
Sensitively. Yeah, she really does.
We're not in this to, make a big box off a case or be deceptive or deceiving. It's just trying to, really truly help. But then there's things that come along, and if it wasn't for the help of, people that watch the content, that send in information as well, and try to help out, really, that, to me, everything is about people helping people and bringing awareness when we can. But in this particular case, this is like a personal thing for me. It's when your mind, like I have a thinking brain. I'm always thinking, and I'm always looking at different scenarios or different things. And you guys have no idea how much probably time I put into searching who Ron Rogers is. And I keep just, it's just one of those things, right? Kind of like the dog with the white thing. I'm going, is this guy legit? Is this guy actually accurate? I don't know.
Is it really bad that whenever I hear the name Ron, I think of Ron Logan?
I know, right? Ron Logan. It was during Ron Rogers' interview, a few things. I mean, there was a few things that stood out there to me. Again, one was that he never. Well, I know it was staged, and I feel like the reporter had so many options there to ask him some better questions. in a sense, or to get some more details. Like, was the phone on the ground? Yeah, it's like he's basically putting the words in his mouth, and all Ron had to do was kind of like answer him in a sense. But it was when he went to go say, well, I thought someone went for maybe possibly a pee and then he never did finish saying, because I'm like, well, you honestly think somebody would leave their phone on the bench with the dog untied while they're going for a pee way off in the caravan? Like, okay, so, but he never did complete his sentence on that. And then he's like, well, I got from the, red brick building. And I was like, something doesn't seem right here. Really? I think I would have thought that if I seen a phone right away, and then again, the whole timing of, Penny going back home, calling the vet. And why did they call the school? That still doesn't make sense to me, because you guys, as well as I know, that if Paul called that phone, okay, first of all, it wasn't in nobody's hands. You'll see 3 missed calls, missed calls, and what about the fact that it was logged into the team call? So how does that exactly work, Adam? So if it's logged into the team call, and do you think that they were just playing around with the phone to see who does it belong to and hit the home button, on it so that they could see, the screensaver? Because if you're logged into the call, I'm just thinking how my phone works in a sense, like according to Ron, the phone didn't have a lock on it. They were able, but maybe that's just because they were able to see into the phone as well, because like, I don't, if mine has a lock on it. So after a certain amount of time, if I'm being inactive on it, it automatically goes to the lock screen, and then I have to reopen it up, So if it's sitting in a Zoom call and I'm off the Zoom call, well, my lock screen will come on. But he was saying that there was no lock screen. They were able to see the wallpaper. So I'm thinking that maybe Anne-Marie and that were playing around with the phone in a sense, because right, they're not thinking that she's, off and dead somewhere. They're just thinking like, okay, like, let's see whose phone this is exactly. But I'm just, there's just certain aspects of, like I said, those things that just,
sorry to chip in. Just in terms of the question of why did they call the school? In the UK, there's a law that all dogs have to wear a collar with the owner's name and address on it. And we have they're microchips as well, but our dogs have collars with the phone number on it as well. So that to me sounds strange. Why did they call the school?
Yeah. Like, I mean, okay. So Emma White, worked. They're on the committee. Same with Anne-Marie Fletcher. Like they for the Lancashire St. Michael's of England primary school there. And it's just like, meaning, again, if Paul called the phone, there would have been missed calls, it seems odd to call the school, it just seems odd. And some people have said, well, that's because the vet's number, someone said, was on the dog collar, which I guess would make sense. But to me, your name, right, like even here too, right, you put your dog license has your name, your phone number of contact, not the vet's, your own personal self. But yeah, to call the school, like, Mr. Ansel, we have a bit of a weird one here, so they found your dog. So, like I said, why would you think to call the school? Doesn't make sense, considering, if I'm looking around at somebody's phone, I'm looking for mother, father, I'm looking for, like, hey, baby, or something like that. I'm not going, let me call the school. I don't know.
I just wonder if I wonder if maybe not necessarily foul play involved, but if they know something and they're so close knit in that village that they're closing ranks. I don't know.
It's just weird. It's just weird, no matter how you look at it, to be honest with you. To call the school.
I think it's all going to come out. I think a lot of the information is going to come out in June at the inquest. Like you said, they're going to know whether she went into the water alive or not. I just hope there's some answers for her family.
Well, I mean, I mean, like they obviously sent the coroner obviously sent them back into the water to go check on something, and I obviously, to me, one of the reasons is like, okay, so like, how did she get over the weir? Did she get over the weir? Like I said, I don't even know that they'll be able to answer some of that stuff, because like I said, that would be like you would have to be there in order to know exactly where she went in. So I don't know, to be honest. Like maybe once information is released, maybe people will start opening up a little bit more, maybe talking about it, maybe not. I don't know.
Hopefully. What are your thoughts on the object that they were looking for, that they said they didn't want anyone in the public to find?
That was said to be false.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Sunny, Claire sent you the article.
Did she? Oh, we're back then. You guys just hang out with Adam and, of course, Dog Lover.
Miss Dog Lover and I can hang out for a moment.
Be right back. I just want to take a book. Be right
back. Tommy Tucker says the coroner's report will support the police's hypothesis because they will want to be proved right, and then they can badmouth all the online speculation. I mean, I think that's something that no one will be surprised by if that's what happens. I'm curious as to whether it's going to be inconclusive, which and then we won't have answers, or if it will just toe the line. And
personally, I will believe the outcome from the post-mortem.
Right. I mean, I'll accept it. I think we'll have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. You have to do everything by the book here in the UK, but I mean, obviously they don't all the time. But I have to have faith that they will.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. That is a long read. Thanks, Claire. I'll spend some time reading that. It's a really long article, so it wasn't like I could just see the thing right away. So I don't want to sit here on the live and spend 10 minutes trying to search for it. I'll look at it afterwards. So it looks like it was an article though, in somebody's article. So anyway, let's see here. Sorry guys. William Austin. Hey, Sunny Austin. Glad to meet you, William.
Right. I'll be right back, Sunny.
My husband's name is Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Or $6 Million Man that doesn't have $6 million. One of the two. Anyway, the woman who owns Caron Park's daughter-in-law, right, that's Anne Marie Fletcher. The dog, recognized the dog over the phone and knew the owner, right? And that's from school, right? Okay, so, and like I said, Anne Fletcher and Emma White are on that committee in the school. So they called the school to get her address or number. Yeah, to get her address or number. But all they had, I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking, William, is that, like, she knew who it was, and to possibly to look into the records for Nicola to get the number. I mean, sometimes what people do in situations, doesn't always, what logically happens and what sometimes happens when you're, doing things are two different things. But that was basically the reasoning, if I could come up with anything as well, was that thought. It's still strange a little bit, but I can see that happening as well. I think when Anne-Marie eventually turned up, she is the school governor and knew the owner of the dog's children attended school. Right. Okay. So same thoughts there. His is truecrimeaspen@gmail.com, Claire. truecrimeaspen@gmail.com. Streamlabs wants to thank everyone for joining us today. And if you guys haven't given this video a like and a share, if you guys could do it, perhaps after the live, if you haven't done it already. It's always about the algorithm, and the more people that see it, the more traction something gets for awareness. And especially with the two cases that we started off, the second case with Nicola Hanley, that's more about awareness. And as for Rhys Rogers, that one would be a great help if other creators could pick that one up across the pond over there and do a video or content on that one. That would be great.
Could I answer Brooke's question, please?
Yeah, this one.
Sometimes it's easier to control a dog, even indoors, especially if you've got a stranger coming in, like a reporter that they don't know. So maybe they put the harness back on Willow. I mean, we keep the collars on the dogs all the time so that we can just restrain them because they go crazy. We don't want them just rushing people as they come in. So that might be one reason why the harness was on Willow indoors.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. No, so I think somebody made a comment that was at Emma's house, that interview. Is that true? I don't even know. I just seen a comment the other day saying something like that. And I was like, oh, was it? They can't answer the phone if it's locked. So you need fingerprint. Right, but they're saying it wasn't locked. Well, at least according to Ron, right, that it wasn't locked. It's going to be a misadventure. It's crazy. Let's see. It's going to be misadventure if say she was drinking the night before, another thing. I really truly do hope. Mr. Oliver, do you think that we will actually hear about do you think that they will give the public information?
It might come out at the inquest. As I say, I don't know the ins and outs of things, but it's possible they could say, I don't know. I'm more into American true crime at the moment, to be honest with you, to know what the rules are over there. But yeah, to know toxicology at inquest, not 100% sure on that.
Yeah. Okay. CJK, Sunny, I listened to your last short video. What I don't understand is why so many people think the others who walk their dogs are suspicious, and if their timelines are wrong, best guesstimate of theirs. Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it really just becomes about, the police say that they have talked to witnesses that they can confirm that was Nicola Bulley there because they knew her and stuff like that. For me, it's just each of their own thoughts on that, CJK. I don't put so much thought into that as much I put thought into, okay, who was this person? Okay, who was that person? And just trying to, bring the facts and whatever as clear as it can be done. What you sending me there, Adam? Okay. Okay. That's who the person is? Is that what you're showing me? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Tommy was asking about John. Sorry to interrupt, Adam.
No.
Tommy was just asking about John, if he was going to be on tonight. I didn't know if you wanted to explain why John wasn't coming on.
John's dog has been ill.
Yeah.
I've not talked to him today, so I don't know how his dog's doing. But yeah, that's why John is not on today. I'm not sure. I know he put out a video yesterday or today, but I'm not sure if he's gonna. Well, I'm sure he's not going live today.
No. I mean, I had messaged him. I talked to him. He said he would pop on if he could, but I said, of course, with no expectation. Hence why Friday was canceled, because we were going to be doing the Essex boys with him for Friday, today. So then like I said, Adam the other night was like, oh, well, like we were talking about the Nicola Bulley case, and again with the UK, and it was just like, okay, well, let's do a live with Nicola Bulley. So John wasn't expected to be on today. I'd reached out to him just to let him know we were doing the live, and I said I would pop him the link in case he wants to, but with no expectation. So
sending prayers to his doggy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So and Alexa's not here. She's off. Like I said, I asked her if she was being a good pupil in her school. She's was asked to, like I said, help this professor, I think it was. I'd have to go back and look at the thing. But anyways, so she was like so excited to go there, but she was going to make it for the live. But then, of course, like I said, it got canceled. So I told her she could join today's live, or just sit out. I just want Alexa, when you got stuff going on, I don't want her to be like off over in some other state and then have to worry about coming on no live and stuff.
And it's a pleasure to have Miss Dog Lover here.
Yeah, and so and I thought Miss Dog Lover was
you're stuck with me.
Stuck. Well, okay, I think it's time for those drinks that she wants.
Right before she heads off to Greece on us.
No, you have to start drinking those next Saturday while I'm in Greece.
Okay.
As I said, I would call in, but
nothing until then.
Like about 4:30 in the morning. By then, 2 hours ahead of time. So
yeah. I wish I was going to. No, actually, I don't like to fly. To be honest with you, my husband says, "Oh, I need to go back home to England." I'm like, "Ooh."
I have to say, Sally, I'm really nervous about getting on a plane again.
Are you? Yeah.
I shouldn't watch Air Crash Investigation.
No, stay away from those. Honestly, that's what got me. Whereas when I started not liking going on planes was because I was going to come back home, which is here to Vancouver from Calgary, and it's only an hour and 20-minute flight. And of course, if they're running behind, it's amazing how fast they can get you there. But anyways, there was a bunch of plane crashes, and when you're younger and you're susceptible to this stuff, and I was in my early 20s, and I kept seeing plane crashes, and I just all of a sudden got this huge fear of flying because, and I can. When I'm excited about doing something, and because when we went to England, it was to surprise his mom, and his brother. Like nobody knew we were coming out. Like nobody besides his uncle. His uncle's wife didn't know. Nobody else knew, and so they were just all in complete shock. So I was suffering for that 10-hour flight. When you can't really sleep because you don't want to put your chair back because you don't want to inconvenience the person behind you, type of thing. Yet the person in front of me is doing that crap, and you're just like, hey, right? Like seriously, you're almost forced to put your thing back. But anyways, it's like a 10-hour hot dog flight. It starts getting warm, you start getting tired, and I just don't like flying that much. I mean, it's beautiful when you're up there, and if you're not thinking about that, the ground's only 36,000 feet below you. But just
I've got major anxiety about it. It sounds crazy, but whenever I'm like, they say that most people are anxious on takeoff and landing, but for me, it's like while I'm up in the air, and it's the whole flight, and I just think, oh my god, this plane could explode at any minute. Like I shouldn't say that, but that's what's going on in my head, and it's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Anyway,
because honestly, taking off and landing, especially landing, is the best part. But that's when the most accidents happen. Absolutely. So my thing was this, Miss Dog Lover, and I said this before. So here I was having this anxiety about flying. My mom was in the hospital dying of cancer. I thought she was going to happen to pass away while I was still back in Calgary. Anyways, so that's what kind of brought it into perspective to me. So when it's your time to bite the dust, it's simply your time. That's going to happen. It's going to happen when it's going to happen.
That's so very true.
Yeah, so here I was worrying about flying, Miss Dog Lover, and here my mom was literally dying in a hospital. And I thought to myself, I spend so much energy worrying about the fact that I'm going to die in a plane or something like that. And here my mom was truly dying of cancer. And I'm wasting all this energy worrying about the possibility, which is nominal, like nominal, of dying in a plane crash. It's like nominal. And here my mom was truly dying. And I was like, so I was telling my own brain, like, get over yourself. Like, honestly, get over it. If you limit yourself to all those things because of our fears, then
yeah, you would never do anything, would you? But I remember being on a plane with my boyfriend at that time and saying, I'm so anxious, this plane is going to explode. And his response was, well, you won't know anything about it then, will you? And I thought, actually, that put me at ease.
No, exactly. All right, and then that's just the thing is that, when you start putting it in perspective again, the fears. And again, with me too, it's the turbulence. When you hit turbulence, I'm like, oh my God, we're going down. We're dying right now. Let's go. And I'm looking at everybody's faces and they're all just chatting away. Yeah. But bottom line is, Miss Dog Lover, when it's somebody's time to bite the dust in this world, and move on to a different whatever, then it's our time.
That's why I'm doing this holiday. I'm just getting away and just do it. Yeah. And then I don't care what happens. But anyway, we digress.
You only live once.
Yeah. Right. And you guys all know I use the word YOLO all the time. And I try to always remember that, in things that I do. Everyone has our different anxieties about things and stuff like that. But if we limit ourselves, and that's why, like I said, with the flying thing, I just hate the fact that I'm stuck in a box. And if somebody farts, you smell it. It's right there. If you're near the shitter, then you got to watch everyone going to the bathroom and out, and stuff like that. Or you got some guys talking to you freaking in the next aisle over, and you're like, dude, like, I really don't want to talk to you. I really just want to sit here in silence. Thank you. Actually, no, that's not true. I can be a little chatty, but when you start chatting and then you're just like, okay, so how do I stop this conversation? I just want to like go to sleep now, or I want to relax now.
I've got Adam, I just saw your comment. I used to fly Malaysia Airlines quite a lot. Every time I went to Australia from the UK. And yeah, that was scary to know what happened with that. But yeah, it's one in a billion, isn't it?
It is.
It's not going to happen. It's not. Yeah. You're more chance of getting run over or being in a car crash, and just try to rationalize it.
Yeah, when my husband came over from the UK, when he, like I told you guys the other day, or some of you guys will know that my husband, he landed here on Weed Day or 420 back in 2015. And he was telling me when he was going from England to Iceland, because that was a stopover, he did have that one stopover. And he said he was bouncing out of his seat, that the turbulence was so bad that he was literally shitting bricks. And he loves planes, okay? But he was literally, so I figure if he can get through that, but he said that was really scary, because whatever over the water and the Iceland, whatever mountains are, he said he was like just bouncing. So like real bad, the turbulence. And
I have to say, when you've got a flatbed though, and you're lucky enough to be in business class, turbulence helps you to nod off to sleep.
Yeah.
It's like being rocked, like a baby. Yeah.
Sasha Ray, I personally don't want to say it. Again, I haven't even looked at the article. It looks like it was an article that was sent, but honestly, it's not something that I personally want to put out there. I just finished saying to Claire that in privacy, please send it, unless Claire has an issue with it or says, yeah, you can say the name if you want. But I just kind of feel like there's really no need of it, like besides my own personal knowledge, and that's why I really wanted to know. But I get it, because everyone would want to kind of go like, yeah, who is that guy with the white fluffy dog? But I specifically asked for it just in confidentiality. If Claire wants to willingly say the name, she can, but if she doesn't, then no sense putting the name out there. It was just for my own personal sanity about the case a little bit. My flight.
It's the muddy and bloody witness. Some of those things eat at you. You're like,
Yeah.
You know, you want the name. Sorry, and the Muddy and Bloody Witnesses from the Delphi case. I apologize for anyone in the UK.
Yeah. Jeff. Hey, Jeff. Jeff wants to know, Adam, which is Aspen, are you JLR posing in front of a window blind? Adam, and are you blind while you're, are you blind? Yeah. And now you have to do that.
And you have to shout, "Shame on you!"
Shame on
Right.
you.
Shame on you, Paul Inso.
Yeah. So you guys, we're only going to be going on a few minutes more here, just because we do have another live to do tonight. Let's see here. Claire didn't say that early on that she wasn't wearing earphones. I remember people asking if earphones. Oh, right.
I don't know if she had earbuds in or not. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. I don't believe she did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so either.
He's through. Rick was in Westville all along.
Yeah, he was in Westville. Caesar.
Right. So the motion that came out today, which we'll talk about tonight, in the Delphi stream. But you know, that motion, it talks about Westville. So in my opinion, that means he's not been moved yet.
Right.
Unless it's referencing something from the past.
Wendy, where did you hear the children were on child protection? Who heard the children? What children were on child protection?
I never heard that.
What do you guys think about Nicola's children being put on child protection? I've never heard that either.
Yeah, I mean, I know that Nicola's sister, I believe, came to stay with Paul to help take care of them, very soon after she went missing.
Yeah.
Which to me does not seem nefarious, but.
Yeah. So yeah. So like Claire put there, I agree. No need to share the name. It's out there though. So go look on the internet, on there. So yeah. Again, you guys, it was just something that was bugging me. A couple of things that particularly bugged me, and one of them is about if this person with this dog actually existed. Was it because it was just so strange in that interview with Ron, you know, that it was the comment when he was like, I keep hearing feedback. 1 sec, Miss Dogler. I'm going to mute your thing for a sec. I'm hearing feedback. There we go. Thank you. When Ron said something like, hold on, I had a brain fart. I smelled a barbecue coming through the window. It was, hold on. What was I just talking about, Adam?
When
you guys had a brain fart.
I got distracted by the feedback.
Okay. Yeah, I know. Just for a second, you guys.
I'm going to drop off, guys, because it might be me. I've been having issues all night.
No, that's okay. We're going to head off in a
honestly.
few minutes anyway. Just well, hold on a sec, Miss Dog Lover. I'm just trying to go back, you guys. The welfare check mean child. Oh, you guys, I'm just having the biggest brain fart right now. It's like right there and not. It's like it wants to come out what I was just about to say because it was about Ron and I was going to touch on it in the video.
The white fluffy dog person. About how it was for your personal knowledge. You wanted to know. No need to put the names out there publicly, but it's on the internet.
Yeah, I know I was talking about the white fluffy dog, but I was going back to Ron. And it was for the fact that Ron goes, okay, so the reporter guys that made a comment like, just kind of like you do, Nicola Bulley goes for her walks every day. And then he kind of was almost like, well, probably so. And I'm like, well, dude, wouldn't you know if you freaking do the walk every day, you would obviously see her a lot. But it was just kind of how he worded that I thought, well, what do you mean probably so? Obviously, if you're taking walks all the time at this, it was like they said, he seems to go to that at that same time. So that's why I was thinking in my head, did they get it wrong? Because this Ron Roger guy is like 70 years old and he has a black dog, but did it get mixed up in translation, like telephone, teletag, tell her wrong type of thing? So that's why I was curious, as it was driving me batty, was this actual factual about a white fluffy dog, or was it, or really was there a white fluffy dog? So I just wanted to make sense of that. So thank you, Claire, for sending me and helping me make sense of that then, because that's why I wanted to know, because it was just to take it off the brain. See, I have in my head, I got all these different things in my brain when it comes to cases, and then I need to just plunk them away, little by little, so that I can at least remove them and not think about them as much. Because you guys, anyone knows me, I'm a true like stalker of internet and Facebook and stuff like that to try to figure out an answer. And then it was just like, darn. And then I'll go for another 3 or 4 hours, searching away, putting pictures together and trying to go through different people's Facebook so I can see if I can find out who Ron Rogers is and blah, 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 blah. And it just becomes about my own personal thing, just to see if I can find it out, first of all, and then share it, obviously, if I feel like it's something I want to share. But anyway, at
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, Claire, I bet you have, being local, I'm sure you have slept and not slept this case.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Adam. I went squirrel. What did you just say?
I was just reading. I said, for Claire, I said, I'm sure being local that she has slept and not slept this case.
Yeah, I have slept and yeah, absolutely. Okay. Especially when it's in your own backyard, right? And again, the reason people are so passionate too about this case is, like I said, it became like a national case everywhere. And I've heard it said multiple times that it was a case that they basically UK hadn't seen such an overwhelming engagement of people's thirst for knowledge of what happened. It's funny how certain cases just trigger and resonate, and then it just explodes. So here you have other missing people in cases and stuff, but something about Nicola Bulley's case, of course, gets people get hold of it, and next thing you know, like this was, like I said, Canada, US, all around the world. What you laughing at there?
Oh yeah, Nick, you're right. A ketchup chip. I should have said it should say crisp for our English viewers.
Okay. You guys, like I said, this was more of an impromptu live, but even though we said we were going to do it the other day, we do have a live tonight, which is going to be at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time to do with the Delphi case. Lewis will be joining us, Miss Dog Lover. I want to thank you so much again for your PayPal donation that you gave to us. Me and Adam will make it the drink part.
Oh,
sure.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to everyone in the chat for their lovely comments. I've been watching, so
yeah. Again, Miss Dog Lover. She's, like I said, she's like a fixture of this channel, a staple of this channel, and so
I'm
truly
like
appreciate you.
And Adam's sister.
Thank you.
Yeah, different mothers and fathers and all that, but whatever, right?
Like one family.
Yeah, we're like a Heinz ketchup chip there. There we are. Crisp. Yeah. But okay, you guys, what time
that
is
would be what, 2 in the morning UK time?
Yeah.
What time
did
you say? Your time?
No, it's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, so it's about 2:30 the UK time.
Or 2:30.
I'll probably still be on it. I'll just
I know you will.
That's usually what I do.
Yeah.
Or is it 2:30?
I don't have to work.
Missed all the live. Hi, Dina. Yeah. Again, you guys, if you guys could support, like I said, thank you to all the UK viewers and followers. Again, thank you guys so much for, the thing that I must say that I do love about the Brits, and that's, like I said, being married to one and knowing, say, you. And what I love about the Brits is that they have no problem speaking their minds at all. Anyone that I've ever known that's British has no problem getting to the point, speaking their minds, and they're very passionate in what they're saying. Like you're basically, what I'm saying is, they're blunt.
Right.
I like blunt.
Yeah, but the only Canadian I've ever met hasn't got any problem speaking her mind either.
That's true.
Any Canadian? Oh, okay. Well, then you met the right ones. Yeah. Quite.
I did put my link as well, also in the chat. If anyone's not subscribed to my channel, please get subscribed.
Like this one right here, Aspen Connor.
Yeah. But no, thank you. I also love the English. Although I do like the Irish too. All right.
If you
Time
can
will tell.
understand the accent.
Oh, right.
Like
You just have to catch up to them on drinks.
So, some of the Irish accents are just, you just cannot understand them.
I need subtitles. It's like, on some of it.
Oh yeah. Just quickly, time will tell. Right, that's what was confusing too. That's what was throwing me off, was that the lady in the red jacket had a small white dog. That is Christine Bowman. Christine Bowman is related to, Penny Fletcher and all that stuff. So it was very confusing to me. I'm like, but yet this lady is saying that she never saw anything. Why are they trying to contact me again? I already told them that I whatever. And so in my head too, this is why I'm like, okay, so who's the white dog belong to? Like, is there a family member here, another person that is in relation to the family or something like that? I will be doing Lucy. Yes. So Miss Dog Lover, hold on, I just went blurry. One sec. Miss Dog Lover, you said you didn't know. Oh, do you know about the Lucy Letby case?
Yeah, I am aware of it. I don't know the details, but I know, yeah, she, what she did to all those babies. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that coming up for trial?
Yes, it is. It's going through it. Yes, now. And yes, so it's a case that Bad Boys, what you gonna do? As a subscriber. Come for you. Thank you, subscriber. So yes, it's another case out of the UK. It's Lucy Letby. It's about a nurse that worked in the neonatal unit that basically is being accused of attempting to take the lives of 17 children, some successfully, but she's only accused of it right now. Again, it's a very tragic story because out of the cases, there was a set of triplets, and two of those triplets at the care of under Lucy, died within the first couple of days. And so, it's always innocent until proven guilty. I'm sorry, but I think that she's guilty as crap, personally. And then it's just a matter of if the courts and that see it that way as well, or the jury. But anyways,
but who can do that to innocent babies? I mean, you've got to be the worst of the worst, haven't you?
Well, Miss Dog Lover, I have to say, I was just reading on 20 different nurses that targeted their patients, and you'd be surprised by how many people can target children, and for all sorts of the most bizarre reasons. I was just reading a case about, I think it was a woman named Jane Topper, something like that, who would no, it was not her name, it was a different person, but she would get a thrill out of injecting infants and babies and kids with drugs. And then right before they would die, she would come to the rescue and then get all the accolades for being a hero. Yeah, and unfortunately, many of them did not survive.
Right,
so.
And
I always say that hell isn't after we die. Hell is now, as we're alive. The devil is walking amongst us.
Yeah,
there's so awful people in this world, and it's scary. And
that was Janine Jones.
They say that the worst serial killer of all time is Harold Shipman, who was a doctor in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Awful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even that one that when we did trivia, Miss Dog Lover, Beverly Elliott, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, her as well.
All those children, there was like hundreds, like literally hundreds. And for 30 years, the span of 30 years and stuff like that. Like I said, pure evil. That's why, like, even on the merch, if you guys ever want to check out the merch for It's a Crime and Shame, it's literally underneath each video. But it has It's a Crime and Shame, and then it has Chasing Evil, and then it has like a flame for a design. And that's really what it is. There's so much frigging evil in this world. Right. Like what's around us. There's so much pure evil. And I think, Nico, when you would agree, like when you probably look, like, I don't know about you, but when you probably look at Lucy Letby there, like she doesn't look, like she honestly looks she has that what looks like a compassionate kind of face, very, you know what I mean? Like they're just a very average looking, nice, what looks like a deeming as a just like a nice person, you know. Definitely doesn't have that look of someone with evilness in her eyes, but obviously, again, this is where it's easy to be fooled. It's usually the people that are outspoken, like myself, that have no secrets to hide, which I don't, or the people that are closed off that usually have most secrets to hide. But in this case, like I said, we'll be covering it, the Lucy Letby. I've been talking with John about it because I remember he showed me a clipping about it, and I said, oh, you know, anybody, this is like, you know, with that show, you know, you don't F with cats, well, don't F with children, you know. And to know that someone is so that off the beaten path in their own brain to literally, you know, like, okay, again, she is innocent until proven guilty, but let's just hypothetically say, imagine like taking out these kids' lives and then here, let me just send you a letter. I would love to attend the funeral. Why? So you can see all who showed up for the work that you did. You know, you psychopath.
Well, the parents actually walked in on her trying to do something to the twins, from what I can remember. Just so sick to do that to such innocent children.
Yeah.
It's the same with people that do that to animals, animal abuse, child abuse.
Yeah.
The worst of the worst.
Yeah. The worst of the worst. Absolutely. Elderly, the old people that, you know, are in homes and people abuse them and stuff. It disgusts me. And anyone, like I said, you know, in my life, you know, this is why I get so a little bit perfect at the world sometimes, is because, you know, in true crime and in channels, whatever, there's so many people hating on people. Why show so much hate? Why not care about people? And instead of being haters, you know, when you have more of a loving side and a caring side, you know, that kind of oozes through your life, and the people that kind of, you know, are around you, the people that have issues and whatever, it's like a dark cloud just follows them everywhere they go, and they think that they're the poor me syndrome, that everything I touch turns to shit, everything I do this. No, it's probably your attitude and the way you're looking at life, because up here it's not sitting right. You know, people need to find their balance. But then there's those whack jobs out there, like say not guilty and whatever, until like a Lucy Letby, that again, she comes off looking like she's this, you know, really nice, caring nurse type of look. You know, she, like I said, there's nothing about her that would strike me. I'm a looks person. When I look at you, I kind of deem what I already think about you right away. And when I look at her face, honestly, I would be fooled by her myself.
And that's why you should never judge a book by its cover.
Right. You know, just right. Exactly. Because again, she has all, like, she just looks like she would be a caring person. She looks like she would be nice. And then look at the evil that is possibly coming out of this lady, all because of whatever issues, you know, like I said, all those letters going on. Anyways, we'll dive into that case for sure. But once again, appreciate all the people from the UK that have subscribed to this channel and stuff like that. We're gonna have to do more lives in the day catering to the UK time, you know, balance it out between the US stories and the UK stories, because I do feel badly, because like I said, we do have a lot of UK people that are following us, and thanks to Jonathan Crime Scene to Courtroom and then Nicola Bulley case, and like I said, that's
it would be helpful to not have to stay up all night.
You know what, exactly. So we will do that. Callie girl, thank you, Callie.
Thank you.
Sorry I missed this. Been working, but we'll catch up.
Thank you, Callie.
I'm a little drunk.
Hi, Callie. Thank you.
See, Callie knows.
Callie, I'm super chat. $19.99. Thank you.
Is that for drinking
Sorry,
money?
I missed this. Been working, but we'll catch up later. Hugs and TGIF.
Hi, Callie. Again, Callie's like a staple of this channel as well. She's been working really hard.
That's more for the cocktail fund.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, that's the song playing, right? I'm a little drunk and I need you now. Don't, maybe not yet. Only just to lift me up if I fall and face plant on the ground. Anyways, let's see here. Can you please shout out to Tom, my hubby? It's his 40th birthday today. He listens to me watching you all the time. Oh, you just made my day, Dina. Absolutely. So at first when I seen Tom, I was like, Tom Webster? Is that what's it? Dina? Absolutely. Tom, happy birthday from It's a Criming Shame. Happy 40th. That's a big one. Yeah, absolutely.
Happy
So
birthday.
and absolutely, and if people ever have something like that, like I said, this channel is really about caring about others. It's not just about cases. Sometimes we input, like I said, the personal stuff to go along with it. And like I said, there's channels that you can go to if you just want complete structure. This channel is really not built that way. In a sense, we like the way that we are just more laid back and can talk, and so we can laugh and we can talk about cases, all that is crime, and then do things like this. So absolutely, Dina. Like I said, you just made my day. Hopefully this made Tom's day and your day as well back. So Adam, do you want to specifically say happy birthday to Tom?
Happy 40th birthday, Tom.
Yeah. Miss Dog Lover, what about you?
Happy 40th birthday, Tom.
There you go. There you go. Once, twice, three times the charm. You're welcome.
I can recently feel your pain there, Tom.
Yeah.
Well,
You're lucky. Wait till you get to 44.
Yeah. I was gonna say I got like 13 years on Tom, so I can relate. But I mean, the 40th one is a big one, right? The 40th one, that's always kind of like a staple. The 50th, after 60th, someone's like, you're old. You're just kind of old now.
I think, I definitely felt 40th was the worst. And then after that, I just accepted it. I was like, fine, just like, and as my mum's always said, it's better than the alternative.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and Nick says, I really like your channel, but some crimes are so terrible, it's hard to read. Absolutely. If anyone knows me, like I said, very deep empath here. Miss Dog Lover, I know you are as well. I don't want to speak for you, but I can tell that you are a very deep empath as well. And, I'm 51.
Good for you, Dina.
Dina, my Brit husband over here, he's 32 and I'm 53. There's a 21-year-old difference. And my husband is like my best. He's that person. Like I've been through 2 marriages before. One I was from 15 to 26, 11 years, married the last 2 years. Then I was 17-year relationship with my ex-husband's name was Steve as well, but spelled a different way with the PH. My husband is Steve Austin now. He's 32. I put in, like we did a live with him the other day, and it's like the Pretty Woman movie going, I'm coming for you, Sonny. And I'm like, yeah. All right. Now my husband, I can honestly say, go ahead. Go ahead.
I guess you have to wait until you're like closer to 50 because I don't want a 25-year-old.
I know. Yeah, right. Well, that's the thing is that honestly, like me and my husband are like 2 peas in a pod. We have the same hearts. We think the same way. And you don't even notice that there's this age gap. The only thing, I'm going to notice that one day when I'm lying in a hospital, I'm going to be like, take care of me. Come on now, I'm 21 years older. I think he kind of forgets that sometimes.
Going fishing.
Yeah, he's going fishing. Yeah, you just lay there in the hospital, honey. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. Yeah, I'll go fishing, thinking about you, honey. Yeah, no, but honestly, my husband from the UK, again, and Miss Dog Lover, I love you so much. I love my husband from the UK. Just great people, great hearts, and I'm so glad that he decided to come 8 years ago on Weed Day that went by. And honestly, I couldn't be more blessed to have such a great husband, right? Nobody's perfect, but I would like to think that we're pretty much up in that 90% of perfectness, to be honest with you. And it's because I don't personally care what other people do in their own lives. If you fall in love or if you meet someone that you care about, go for it. YOLO, right? You only live once, people.
Right.
So,
Amazing stream. Thank you so much for having me on. I've got to go and have a wee.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Dog Lover.
There you go. That's like me too. I gotta go. Okay. Thank you, Miss Dog Lover. And
I'll see you later on the chat.
See you tonight.
Later.
Yeah. We'll see you tonight. So again, as for Dina, happy birthday to your like I said, to your husband, happy 40th. Remember, Dina, don't do anything explicit like with the S word, okay? Try to keep it clean. Milk, cookies, nothing, don't go to your way to do anything too special. It's only his 40th. You've already passed that, but 40th, yeah. I guess for him, it's the way my ex-husband had said it to me personally was like, so how's your other son doing? No, years, honey. This is true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie though. I feel like I've aged pretty well, because people before used to look really old. You know what I mean? When you were a kid, they looked a lot older. Nowadays, we look a lot better. I would say, people really do look a lot different nowadays. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, you guys, don't forget. For people that are in the UK, like I said, we'll be looking at definitely doing some more lives during the day for you guys. Absolutely. We're gonna pull out the Lucy Letby case. Again, there's always the Delphi case, with Richard Allen, the Idahos, going on. We're going to do an update tonight on the, as we're talking about Delphi, but we're going to do an update on Anna Walsh. If anyone doesn't know Anna Walsh, again, it was a mother of, was it 3 children? 3 children.
Yeah, three boys.
3 boys. 3 boys. Again, the husband did it. Simple as that. He's in jail for whatever. But anyways, we're going to give you an update on that tonight as well. Thank you so much, Callie, for your love and the donation there. And again, to Miss Dog Lover.
At least we have a motive now in the Anna Walsh case.
Yeah. And you guys, if you guys have time, do check out the merch, and if anyone wants to ever request something in merch, feel free to ask me as well. Claire, thank you so much for sharing that article. I will have a nice read. Thank you so much for doing that. Appreciate it. That'd be awesome. UK, yeah, absolutely. I got no problem because before I was working, so I couldn't, and stuff like that. And Adam's kind of schedule has changed, and mine has too. So we can absolutely do more lives during the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's actually not been that early for me. I mean, I'm on the East Coast, so I mean, it's already almost 6 p.m. here.
Right. It was it's 1 o'clock for me when it starts. It's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So either way, like I said, absolutely, you guys. Appreciate you. You guys give this video a like and a share. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in a few hours for those people that will see us on the Delphi Live tonight with Lewis.
Please.
Yeah, and prayers for John from Crime Scene Courtroom, and again with his dog there. And yeah, I think that's it. If I missed anything, sorry. Anyways, bye guys. You guys take care. Thanks. I really need to make an outro, don't I, guys? Yeah, instead of I need to make it. Why? I make videos all the time. Why don't I do an outro? Take care, guys.